Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel, Relapse Tackle. In this video I'm going to show how I paint with Stardust. This is a new process, so watch the video, give it a like, share it with your friends, and please subscribe. Alright, so what I do is use my torch. You can use a small butane torch, it's a little safer. But be careful not to burn your hands. Also be careful so you don't poke yourself with a hook. And then, so I'm going to heat this up in the flame. Dip it in the Stardust for a couple seconds. Tap off the excess. And then I take it, set it on my little cooling rack here. I have the oven preheating, and I just set it at 400 degrees. You can do 350, 400, it's fine. So I'm gonna get these few more ready. So in this I'm gonna show how to keep the eyes clear and no paint on the hook shank. And I always drop them from right to left, and then when I pick these up, the one that's on the right, it's going to be the coolest. So usually get a few of these ready. And you just keep moving, and then you're always grabbing the cool ones, the ones that are cool down. If you don't quite get enough on there, just heat it up a little bit from a distance. You see a little bit of lead through it. Re-dip. Some of these, as they cool down, the lead's hot enough where it starts to actually like really bond to it and get a little shiny. Some stay kind of like a powder. It all depends on how much heat you put into the lead before you dip it. And I like to kind of swirl it around in there, making sure that it all gets coated real well. I started filling up this one rack so it wouldn't take too long on camera showing the process. Try not to bore too many of you. So that one could be a little bit thicker. This is the last one that I'm going to heat up. Another thing is with the Stardust, you don't have to. Oh, I talk and I'm not getting the stuff hot enough. With the where you cut the sprue off, it's not as important to get it that as smooth as other powder coats, because this stuff goes on kind of like a thicker rubber, so it covers up imperfections a little bit better. So, all right. Now the one all the way on the right should be the cool one, cool to the touch. Be very careful doing this as well. So what I do is I take a razor knife. It's the old razor knife that I have. So I just cut around the hook eye. Be careful so you don't cut your finger. And then I cut back here on the hook shank as well. Kind of poor lighting right here, I guess. I'm still trying to figure out where the best spot is to put the cameras and stuff, and I only have the one right now. The GoPro kind of crapped out on me. So see how plugged up that hole is? So I take this flush cutter and I'm just going to scrape along the top of the hook eye, pull that piece off, drop that in the trash can over here. but I'll kind of go on the flat side. I don't know if you guys can see that or not, but I go on the flat side and grab a hold of that as well, and just keep pulling on it until it all comes out of there. There it is. Pretty easy, and there's nothing left in that hook eye. So then I pull it back from the hook shank, kind of slip it up, slip that paint up the hook shank, and then cut that off. So I cut it off the hook shank and out of the hook eye, nice and clean. And I'll take these jigs after doing that. Well, it takes a second, and it's a lot faster when I'm not talking and trying to explain things, but slide it on the jig rack, grab the next one, and just cut around there. So I'm just trying to make a nice clean line. This doesn't need to be crazy deep, just enough to get down to the hook. Like I said, I scrape along the top side of that. Sometimes just doing that is enough and the whole thing comes right off of there. And then get it off this side. That's clean. Once again, be very careful. You're messing with a lot of dangerous stuff. These things can be razor sharp. The flush cutters, the hooks, obviously. These Michael Burry's hooks, they're wicked sharp. I don't know. The point on them is insane. It's like needle point. But there you go. Another clean one. And like I said, it's a lot faster if I'm not talking. I just sit down and just do it to a bunch of them. It moves a lot faster. So this one didn't get as hot as the other one, so it's kind of like loose powder on there yet. So this one I can probably just scrape with my knife a little bit. And careful not to knock it off of the head, because it didn't get hot enough where it actually like wrapped around it. It's still like loose powder, but that's okay. That'll still turn out just fine. I'm gonna need a hook to poke through the center of the eyelet though. Blow a little bit of that off the hook. See, that one's more of a, my phone will focus. See, it's more of a powder. Beat it up. Slide that in my rack. The oven's already at 400 degrees. So then what I do, some of them are shinier than others. So then what I do is just drop it in the oven and watch it, because it only takes a minute or two and they're ready to come out. So carefully put that in there so you don't burn yourself. What I like to do is take another light. There's a light inside there, but I like to take another light, just put it up there, and I'll put more than one rack in at a time, so I'm not standing over the oven a lot. Just fill up my racks, get it preheated, stick them all in there, and then just keep an eye on it. As soon as all of those jig heads are nice and smooth and shiny, that rack's ready to pull out. They're ready to fish, and we can just take them out, set them on the bench, let them cool down, and then they're ready to go. So I'll get my needle nose pliers ready so that I can pull those out of there, and I'm just gonna watch them, and maybe I'll try to do this. I don't know how well that's gonna be. The oven's not the cleanest. I don't cook food in it, so I don't care. It doesn't need to be clean. The door's pretty dirty though. I should clean that. Sorry about the shaky hand too. Don't have a stand for the phone to clip into right here, so. I'm also using indirect heat. I always put the pan to catch any drips and stuff. I've not had any of this stuff drip off any of the jigs, but I do like that extra safety of knowing that the paint, if it does or the lead gets too hot for some reason and drips down, that it doesn't land on the heating element. So these are actually, yeah, they're done. These are done. So we're gonna take them out of the oven. I'm gonna set this back up here. So we're gonna take those out real quick. Carefully. Nice and smooth and shiny. I'm not gonna do any more, so I'm gonna shut this off. But then I can take this rack, set it on the bench, let them cool down. Try to get a close up over here. They all look beautiful. No paint in the eyes, no paint on the hook shank, and it didn't take very long at all. Way less than 20 minutes to cure them. So, like I said, once these cool down, they're ready to fish. If I wanted to cool them down faster, I could dip them in water, but it's actually, I think it's like 65, 66 degrees in this room, so it doesn't take very long for them to cool down. So I just let them sit on the bench for a minute or two, and then they're ready. So, yeah, just let them cool down, don't touch them. Suppose, I guess I cut the video right there though. Thanks for watching. Share with your friends. Please subscribe. Get yourself some Stardust paints. There's quite a few different colors out there, and they're always coming up with more. So check them out. Lure Parts Online or Lure Craft, and then even that what is it? Hardwired Tackles also selling the stuff. So, all right. Thank you. Bye.